You ever look at a drawing and think, I wish I could draw just like them? Well, the way to do this is actually very simple.
Oh my God.
Hold on, pause just a second. No, that's not what we're doing. Anyways, if you actually want to learn how to draw in your favorite artist's art style, it all starts with finding a lower quality version. Get rid of all the rendering, the fancy effects, and the sharp line art. Look very, very closely at the sketch. Now, as you look at the art, you're naturally going to gravitate towards the face. It's the first thing most people notice about a drawing, but I'll use Shigezie as an example for now. Shigezie likes to use thick brushes to get a very rough sketch of what they want. He then uses a thinner brush to erase and sharpen the lines once he has the layout, because at the end of the day, a sketch is only meant to be exactly that. Sketch. It just needs to look somewhat like how you want it to look. But also, you're going to always want to keep a reference beside what you're drawing, because how are you going to learn without being able to see their art style? So just practice rough sketching for a while, the exact same as the reference, and slowly start to try and use your own knowledge and use the reference less. Now that you have a basic understanding, hopefully, it is important to remember most artists do respond to their comments. If you simply ask them or watch their own tutorials, which they likely have, you'll get much better advice than I can provide. This is just for people who want to get their advice from someone who isn't as experienced as art. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe. Ooh, you want to subscribe? The next thing you want to do when attempting to learn an artist's style is to take a fully finished piece of theirs and use your method of rough sketching or their method of sketching and try and break down the detailed sketch into something easier to handle. This will help you get more accurate with not just your observation, but also your ability to break down sketches into something you can manage, which in turn allows you to understand it in your own way, which is the best way for any beginner artist to learn. If you don't believe me, being self-taught is how I made it to where I am, and I'll be talking about that in the next video. But getting back on track, once you've learned the basics, one thing you'll realize is without the reference, it becomes significantly harder or even too hard. But how exactly am I supposed to learn my favorite artist's style without a reference? And that is a valid question. So here's an interesting idea I came up with. Take your reference and gradually erase important bits. This forces you to use muscle memory to fill in the blanks. So start small, like erasing the nose and the mouth, things that don't affect your drawing too much. Then go to the important features like the eyes and the shape of the face. You'll notice very quickly that you're starting to fill the gaps with your own information, the method you learned to use, and a good amount of improvisation. But even this isn't exactly enough to draw like your favorite artist. No. So what you're going to want to do is to take another artist with a different style and look very closely at their work. Then you're going to use the method that you learned to try and draw their art in your favorite artist style. Pika actually goes over how to do this in a different video, so be sure to check out her video. As long as you keep on practicing this cycle of less detailed sketch, breaking down a full detailed drawing into your own sketch, changing the angles or properties, erasing the details of a reference, and using your own knowledge, and lastly, using other art with your favorite artist's style. Over time, you will learn how to draw just like one of your favorite artists. Now, it won't look exactly like theirs, but I think you could see this as Shigezie's art style, even if it's not on the dot. But of course, as any art advice YouTuber will tell you, it's a lot of practice. And in the video I have planned next, after the other one, I'll be explaining how to have fun while drawing. All of those on low drive or motivation. But as of right now, that's all. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.